So today we're gonna do get to know us episode, and how we're gonna do it is that I'm gonna ask you 5 questions, and you're gonna
Okay.
ask me 5 questions back.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah. So first question. What are your best characteristics?
My best characteristics. I smile a lot, and I think that's very important because people always misconstrue what you say. So a smile always helps. Um, I laugh a lot, and I'm really optimistic. Even when things get really hard, I'm really optimistic. So yeah, those are my best things.
Optimistic.
Optimistic, like really positive, because I always think there's a silver lining for everything, even when stuff gets really tough. There's always something to learn, there's always a way to grow, and there's always something you can take away from that situation. It's not just a poor me or why me situation, it's a what can I learn from this. That's
Wow,
me.
this very very deep.
Yeah. Well,
Baru level one. It's just
maybe coming
level
here to
one
be
question.
yellow or something.
Okay,
Okay,
your turn.
is it my turn? Okay, what's your go-to guilty pleasure?
That's a good one.
Hmm.
I would say first thing comes to mind is food. I would say probably all the sweet stuff I indulge myself with. I just had a
Yes.
nice HugMug of hot chocolate yesterday. So that was really good. It's from Max Brenner. So shout out Max Brenner if you wanna sponsor a girl in Sydney. I'm here.
Famous ones and say that if you like us, okay,
Oh
hit
yeah,
us up.
you like us. I forgot. I was in the zone. Yep. So I probably say a good hot chocolate by Max Brenner
Hot
would be my
chocolate is good. And now I want a glass. Okay, that's
yo.
on the list.
Serve it in
So
a
we're
hug
done.
mug, like you a mug that you literally hug for like cold or rainy day.
Wow. Okay.
Like,
See, I didn't even know there was a thing like a hug mug. I do that with my mug a lot though. Like I bought this for like $2, and it's got a deer on it, and it's really cute. So yeah.
okay, my
Okay,
turn.
your turn. Yeah.
So Hazel, tell us a bit. Um, what is the name of your favorite restaurant? And I think I might know.
Oh, y'all, this is hard because I've got so many right now. So basically, all I've done this year is eat because that's life. So I've discovered this place called the Pistachio Grill, which does amazing Mediterranean food. There's one at Dempsey. It's called the Dempsey Project, and they do like really healthy stuff. So you've got your indulgence like cheeseburgers, but you've also got like gluten-free pancakes, and you've got vegetarian food. And I like that because you can have heavy or light. I love banana leaf rice. So
And we
there's a
spend a
restaurant
lot of time at Banana Leaf.
a lot. So like, if if you're gonna ask me like what was my last meal choice on earth, it would be banana leaf, like a whole banana leaf meal with the vegetables. Okay, maybe not the vegetables because I can't do vegetables, but like the whole meal,
Fair
with
enough.
everything. Yeah,
Okay, your turn.
my turn. What is the one thing you've never revealed to anybody?
Oh my god! Why you do me like this? Shit! Actually,
Please,
there's so
sis.
many things because I think you know this, like having been friends for this long. I think you know
Yeah,
I'm someone of an open book. I don't think I am. I try to be, but I don't think at my core exactly an open book. I think I'm very private about my private stuff, and I
yeah,
think only if you've been friends with me for a certain number of years, then you probably could hear like probably maximum 70-80% of my life,
yeah.
but ultimately I'm still keep a lot of stuff. So that one thing shit, this is really hard. um to anyone, I've
Talk
never
to
revealed
anyone.
to
It could
anyone.
be something that you've never told me before, or something that you've never told your parents, or something that you've never told, I don't know, your partner,
Must
whatever
it
you like.
be like a naughty thing or a nice thing?
I don't know, honey. How many naughty things do you have on your list? You tell me.
This is gonna take a while, but what I can say is that one thing I don't really reveal to anyone is definitely like probably like who I'm dating at the moment. or
Yes.
who I'm actually like
I
thinking.
agree with that one. I agree with that one.
Yeah.
You should keep
I'm
it private.
yeah, like I mean people know that I'm would be dating or seeing someone, but they don't exactly know who, what, why, when, where kind
Yeah.
until I officially reveal like, oh by the way, this is a guy that I met and like we've been hanging out for 6 months and then you guys would be like
Yeah, no, I think it's great. It's like, we live in an age where everybody wants to put everything on socials, and we all live vicariously
"Hmm."
through social media. So I think that's great.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's one thing. Like I don't actually reveal my partner on my social, so you hardly get to see like pictures of me and a guy or me with someone. Maybe like cheeky stories, but not like oh I love you, babe. Like, no. Don't we love
Yeah.
those kind of
Just
posts,
that.
like a
I haven't even
tribute
had
post?
breakfast. Do this to me. Mm, no.
Okay,
I
my
mean, if that's your thing, if that's your thing, that's great. But no.
okay.
Okay.
Ready? So, what's your favorite age growing up?
Oh man. I mean, this
Suddenly,
is
like
tough.
a deep long pause.
No, this is tough because I didn't have a very easy childhood. So there is really no specific memory that I like about my childhood growing up. I guess if I were to amend it a little and say what were my favorite takeaways, I would say it would be the friends I've earned. Because
Oh,
I've been friends with this kid that I've known since I was 5. We're 34 now, right? So that's okay. Someone do the math for me. What is that? 29 years? Is that 29?
got there.
Okay, yeah. About that, yeah. So, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Hazel. You want to be my friend?" And she's like, "Well, okay, sure." And we've been friends ever since. So she knows. I dare say she's one of 4 people in the world who know everything about me. So if I have to say what's my favorite thing about ev- life in general, it would be her. You know,
What's her name?
her name's Michelle. So
Hey,
hey,
Michelle.
Michelle.
Hey.
And yeah, okay, my turn. What's your favorite quote from a TV show, a movie, or a book? Can be either one of
Oh,
these. Yeah.
okay. I have a lot of quotes that I don't know, somehow
Mm-hmm.
I have space in my brain that I could keep them, even though, I'm pretty stretched out up there. But
Yeah.
I like this one that, okay, I'm going to give you two. So one is by this TV series on Netflix. It's called The Queen's Gambit. So there was a
Mhm.
quote that
Yes.
says, yeah, like, or people will do anything to have something and not nothing, or something like this. Like, I mean, I will pull out the quote and put it on the screen here. Yeah, there was this one quote where she was being told that the lead character was being told that, oh, you do know, like, people, most people would, do anything, even if they don't like it or they're not comfortable, you just to see that they have something rather than letting go and be okay with nothing. So I thought that
Yeah.
was really good um and
Very accurate.
poignant
Yeah. Well,
message. Yeah. The second quote that I really love, and I love this quote because it comes from a book of a writer that I truly truly admire. His name is Khalid Hosseini. He writes The Kite Runner, Thousand Splendid Suns. So in the Kite Runner, there was a line. It was also quite an epic line in the
yeah.
movie. So it's called "For You a Thousand Times Over," when the boy and his friend were saying to each other, and I thought that was the most beautiful and sweet
Oh,
moment of two
it's
boys.
sweet.
Like they're so innocent and pure, and though like the hierarchies of rich and poor, and they could have that sentiment of like, oh, I'll
Yeah.
just do out of friendship and loyalty, like, and for you I'll do a thousand times over. And I thought that was really
Yeah.
sweet. Yep.
Mm.
Okay, so
So
my question is like gonna be a funny question. Okay,
okay,
ready?
bring it,
What's
bring
your
it.
favorite sleeping position?
Oh Lord. Um, Typically it's fetal on the side, but I have woken up before where I'm sort of like starfish.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Please.
but mostly it's fetal on the side.
On the left side.
On the left, yeah, I prefer the left. So I always wake up with my shoulder aching because I'm always on the left. And apparently, I'm not sure who observed this, but I think I stayed over with a friend, and she's like, "Dude, we slept for 8 hours, and for 8 hours you were just on your side, on your left side." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Do I have sleep? Like, what am I supposed to do, right?" But apparently, that's my favorite position. Starfish when I'm really tired. Fetal on the left side for most days. Yeah.
All right, good to know. Takes me back to the time when we went traveling. I haven't noticed your sleeping position,
Or
but good to know now.
okay. What are your favorite things about yourself?
Favorite what?
Your favorite things about yourself.
Oh, favorite things about myself. I would say right now, the favorite thing about myself is that I'm comfortable being in my own skin, which I think we're gonna talk about. Yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about this in the next few episodes.
Yes.
I feel like at this juncture in our life and at this life stage of mine, I can truly say that I'm completely comfortable in my own skin. Whether or not I'm being liked or disliked, it doesn't matter so much. It hasn't mattered so much since I was young, but I think turning 30 and above, I think it kind of solidifies that I'm completely fine in my own skin, and if you don't like it, that's on you. I think that's one favorite thing that I like about myself, like being able to tune out really what people think about me. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, actually.
Okay. Last question for you, Hazel.
Mhm.
So this is a controversial question. Ready? So have you ever disliked something and then changed your mind? I know I'm putting you in a spot right now. Just like how you did with that one thing that you won't reveal to anyone, like crap.
I know, right? Okay, well, I'm gonna say the one thing I disliked and then changed my mind was getting learning a little more about politics, because I'm a Malaysian. I live in Singapore now, but I was a Malaysian, and our politics are dirty. Okay, it's very race based, and it's very sensitive to talk about race based issues in Malaysia. And for many years, I stayed away from having those conversations with the people around me and with friends or even Malaysian strangers you meet on the streets, right? Because it's so charged, and to me, it's just too much effort. But I think in the last elections, where there was essentially like a whole change of power, because we've had the same government for 60 odd years, right? So there was a whole change of power, and there was protests on the streets, and people were lining up to fight. And living here, that really sort of changed how I perceive things in the country, because there's always a little air of, oh, we don't talk about that. We know people do these things, but we don't talk about that. So me seeing all the people in the streets, seeing my fellow citizens on the streets, fighting and protesting for what's right, and literally stopping police and people in authority from bringing fake ballots in to the election centers, to the voting stations. I think that really changed my mind, that okay, this is discourse that we need to have. These are conversations we need to have, and everybody needs to educate themselves, because voting isn't about voting for somebody that suits your beliefs. It's about voting for somebody or someone's policies that aren't just going to help you sleep at night, they're going to help your neighbor sleep at night. And I think that's the important thing about politics. People talk about politics like it's, oh gosh, it's complicated, it's hard, it's dirty. But if you don't clean it up, no one will. So you have to take that step to educate yourself. And there will be things about every candidate that you don't like or that you don't agree with. But I think the important question to ask is, how is this going to benefit the community at large? And instead of how is it going to benefit me, because if you can start thinking about your community, start with your neighbor and then your community and then the state and then the whole country at large, that's how life gets better for everybody, you know. So yeah, so that's what
You were saying that initially you had this like getting involved or getting to know what politics is about in your home country. But
yeah.
then as you grow up and you're more aware of your voting rights and the change that you can make with that single
Yeah.
vote and the change
Yeah.
that you can impact, that
Yeah.
kind of change your mind. Oh, that's a good answer.
It is because, and it's really interesting because I've had conversations like these with the elders in my family and with my friends' parents, right? And it's always a case of, it was always a mentality of, what's a vote going to do? What's it going to change?
Mm, mm,
But
mm.
I think, and one of the things I said to a few friends when the whole elections happened, when Mahathir came back into power, was that don't ever tell millennials that we can't change the world. Don't ever tell young people that we can't change the world. Because all of us lined up under the hot sun, all of us fought, we went out on the streets. Well, not me, but my citizens, my fellow Malaysians. Everybody went out and they did something. And it was all of us that did it together. So if you're going to tell me that one vote cannot make a difference, I'm going to prove you wrong, because we've got a whole history now to show it. And I think it applies also for not just in Malaysia. I think it applies when you look at every political system in all over the world, you will see that change, right? You will see it in America, you will see it everywhere. So it's really about what you want to do to make life better for yourself and for the people around you. But the key thing to remember is that it's not just about you, you know?
Reach.
Yeah. Exactly, yes. Now we take a sip of water.
Okay, so last question.
What has required the most courage in your life so far?
Oh wow, I think you know this answer.
Well, I do,
And I think
but
a lot of
our
my
lovely
friends,
viewers don't. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of the people who know me would know this answer. Like the most courageous, like thing that I've done recently, was that to literally like remove myself from comfort zone, and that
Yeah.
is to physically leave the country at a time of COVID. So like leaving Singapore and basing myself in Sydney.
Yeah.
I think that was the most terrifying, crazy idea and decision that I had set out years
Yeah.
and years, and eventually it came around in 2020. So I moved
Mhm.
to Sydney in early 2020, and that's when the borders start to shut down, and I had a decision whether, oh, should I go back home? But I've already made all these decisions and all these like sacrifice to be here, and to just go home like the moment I just got here, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stick through and probably learn something out of this experience. And good thing that I did stick around, and I think that kind of like pushed me to greater independence beyond what I've imagined or I had expected to
Yeah.
achieve even more. So yeah, that was like the most courageous, and I still think that it does take more courage as I go. It doesn't get
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
because being apart from you, from my friends and my family for a whole year plus, and having no physical contact with people that I know all my life, that's actually the hardest part, because
Yeah.
a lot of the planning, as you would know, also like I would want my friends to come and visit me here, and and we could spend time here and have a change of scenery. Of course, that can't happen anytime soon.
Right
But
now, but
let's see. Yeah.
And that wraps up this episode of Girl, Let's Talk. So if you like what you're hearing and you want more, then you know the drill. Share our videos with friends, like it, subscribe it, follow us on our socials, have a conversation with us because we're listening. I promise.
Yay!